AVT Rocks, and this is another in the series of Meet the Candidates. Candidate today is Carl King, and you are unusual because you're running for both mayor and for city council. Clearly you're not taking on both positions.
Correct.
Tell us about yourself. What got you to do that?
Well, first of all, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good
I'm just very much concerned with the going-ons of city business when it goes on around me in the city and environment I live in and I care about. I'm running for both. Either one is an effective position. I would certainly like to be mayor. I believe there's much more that can be done, and what I feel as though my skills and usefulness would be much more befitting. I can outreach more, I believe, in that position where city council is kind of limited to certain things they can do.
However, they're the ones who have the power with the votes. The mayor doesn't vote unless there's...
Right, but for instance, what I'm saying is I would be going out getting, let's say, other cities interested in connecting with us, so on and so forth, bringing business to the council, someone representing. Either way, I would be effective. I just saw an opportunity where I could make a difference. So.
And the timing was right for you.
Timing's right. I have a lot of time, knowledge, I feel, that would be very helpful to create a great team for Newport.
What would be your sort of workload priority list? Where would you start?
In regards, say, if voted mayor?
Yes.
All right, voted mayor. Either way, I would certainly want to start in-house. I would like to know what I'm getting involved in, what is there, and what, as we perceive, is the big curiosity.
Right.
And I'd like to provide not only the answer to myself, but also the fellow community members who also ask the same questions. Have the same curiosities.
As you know, have a lot of questions, and I presume that's something that has encouraged you to run.
Yeah, I feel it's my civic duty. With power comes great responsibility, and we need to bring the power back to the people where it belongs.
Yeah.
Without the people, the town won't exist. So, and I believe all answers are probably going to be within our town anyway. So I would encourage the town to be more inclusive in meetings, in city business, because it involves them directly.
Right, and the people are the ones who do the electing.
Exactly. I represent the people, not oversee the people.
Good distinction. And clearly you're a supporter of transparency.
Absolutely. Without transparency, there's no trust.
Right.
What would we be wanting to hide anyway?
Well, that's a really good question.
It's just city business, folks.
Yeah. And we're the ones who are paying for it with our taxes.
And just to get a simple answer and get a runaround or a no, unacceptable. Unacceptable. We have the power.
Yeah.
We just need to wield it.
Right. How long have you lived in Newport?
Over 30 years now.
Wow.
In and about Newport and the community.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it was
I've been here
long.
all my adult life. So I moved originally from Rhode Island, and I moved up here when I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And changed my life, and I chose to become a Vermonter. I served the National Guard honorably, and then I went to active duty, served honorably, and chose to Vermont as my home of record, and come back home. And I just want to give back where I think I can make a difference, and a difference needs to be made.
And you've always been Northeast Kingdom, if
Yes.
not directly Newport.
Yes. Orleans County.
Yeah, that's the Northeast Kingdom. And that's important. And it gives you a good understanding of the area.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to use two things for human empathy and validation. You have to empathize, understand what the conditions, concerns are.
Right.
Plus, you have to validate. When you mention at the city council, when someone stands up to speak, to question something, that's one thing that's very lacking, and one is empathy with their problem in the validation that, one, they're a person, a citizen, a taxpayer. Without that, there's not that connection.
Right.
We're robots.
Yes.
Perhaps.
And that's something you would change.
Absolutely. And we just can't have that.
Right. It certainly doesn't encourage participation.
No, it doesn't. But we need to encourage, again, participation. For again, I think whatever our queries may be, our troubles, the answers are going to be in our community. Now we can go out to other communities and find examples and models to work off of, but our own problems and successes have got to be ours.
So you would be helping Newport communities connect with other communities.
Oh, absolutely.
As well.
That's necessary for us to sustain. Just
right.
plowing a field to walk in and stuff is not bringing tax money.
No.
We need business. It's great to be connected and walking around the city smiling all day long, but you got to be on the phone talking to people, connected, and interacting with other places. Tell them we exist. How are they going to bring their money here? They don't know where to come and what we have to offer. And we have to have something good to offer.
What do you think we should be doing more of? I mean, we have some businesses here, but clearly there's room for plenty more.
That's a good point. We have a lot of walking past the lake. These are great things. But unless people know it's here, they can't use it, and they can't stimulate our economy by spending monies here. We need to bring more exciting things, which open-minded. It could be anything. I think a little bit more festivals brings a lot more people with their disposable money, if you will, to come up and spend it and have fun. People want to have fun.
They do.
They want to have family, friends, food, and fun, the 4 Fs. Let's work on them 4 Fs.
We certainly have a beautiful area to have festivals.
And foliage. Let's throw 5 in there, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's a big one, foliage. So you would encourage more festivals, more events, say in the park or in Gardner Park?
Yeah, the music festivals, a great draw, sometimes, 1,200 people?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
that's a lot of
Wednesdays on the
people.
waterfront are fabulous.
I went to Saturday down at the
At the Gateway, yeah.
Beautiful. I think they're starting to run out of seats, though, because a lot more people are showing up.
That's good.
Oh, that's good, but it's just showing you
Yeah.
that people are more receptive, and that's what they're looking for.
Right. And this last Saturday,
and-
it was so cold outside, you would have understood if nobody showed up. But they flocked in.
They did, because they had something tangible,
Yes.
something fun that they wanted, enticed them
Yeah.
to come out of that
Right.
shell.
And it was a family event, which is so important here. I mean, we tend to have things for adults, and we have separate events for kids. But it's really nice to have things that bring everybody together.
The family environment. That's one of our principles in life. We should concentrate on developing more family values, keeping the family together, doing things inclusive with the family, whether it's fun or doing education, outdoor events, I think, more healthy outdoor events, be inclusive.
We certainly have the opportunity for outdoors up here.
There's a lot of it.
5 seasons,
Yeah.
even mud season.
You can have fun in all of them.
Yeah.
There's something to do.
Right. What do you see as the greatest needs that Newport has currently?
With that question, we need stability, one, in the belief in our administration. We need to believe in that, and we'll start believing in ourselves. From there, we can build off of, now we have a strong administration, strong belief in that administration. What can we do together? What can we do? Everybody wants to have that whole concentrated on.
We don't own it.
Again, we don't own it.
Right.
We got a lot of answers if we did.
Yes.
Um,
but we don't
Sometimes
own it.
we need to take our eyes off of that
Yeah.
and concentrate on the things that we can
Right.
until this can be. I think, well, I know as a city we have an obligation to ourselves to tell the landowner, please, you're reflecting bad on our city. You're taking away from us.
Right.
There's got to be some sort of incentive, repercussion, again, an incentive to say, please try to do something with that
Right.
or beautify it. Help us as well, you know.
What else?
We're seeing the degradation of our healthcare system, being our
Yeah.
elderly. That is so sad. And how do you tell Mom, I got to send you somewhere, and I don't know where to send you?
Right.
You know, in a moment's notice. You know, the dynamic of the family's already broken,
Right.
so to speak, and now it's just blown apart. You know, does the city have a direct say to that? No, they should encourage things to be done. We need to show that we care. Again, empathy and validation.
Right.
Something like that is a blow to a city from outsiders, I would imagine.
If outsiders even know, but we certainly know inside.
If you're trying to sell the city and they do a little investigation and see all this stuff going on,
Right.
they would run as fast as they can. And we need to stop that, reverse it, change it. And if it means change the administration and concentrate on some of the smaller things that'll in the long run will be more effective,
Yeah.
that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
But we need to keep our community as a whole. If we don't, we're going to lose the city. You know, my motto is our city, our communities, our responsibility.
It is. If we're going to live here, it is our responsibility. So that's health, you've covered, and outdoors. What are some of our other needs?
I'm very strong in education, and I believe our school system is good. I think we can do it much better, but I think we need to concentrate on a lot of careers that's going to send our children to jobs where the money's at. And believe me, there's no jobs here in Newport.
Right.
We need to prep them to do that. And I'm not seeing a lot of children leaving. They're staying here and not filling jobs that are available or just doing nothing and becoming nothing.
Which is really sad.
It's sad. Dreams should come true. They shouldn't die.
So you would work with education departments,
Absolutely.
schools.
Absolutely. Educate them, teach to go to jobs where the money's at, and then they can bring that back home. That's
True.
kind of how it's supposed to
Pretty
be.
hard right now to figure out where the money's at, because where is it?
You got to
What
look
pays-
outside of the
Yes.
proverbial box. You know, There is much more than cows and maple trees.
Really?
No, for real. And I'm not being sarcastic.
No, you're right.
There is more jobs out there.
Yes.
Literally, you shake a stick at, but you got to be trained for it.
Right.
And you got to want it. Around here, we're losing a lot of mechanics because the requirement is more technical with computers.
Right.
If you don't have computer skills, you're not worth $100 an hour to work on a car.
Right.
And either they quit or get fired, and then the business owners are stuck. What do I do?
Right. So
And then they hire backyard mechanics, and that kind of brings a other set of problems.
Yeah. So you would be supporting places like the Career Center, which
Oh,
is one of our
absolutely.
assets, and yet is such an underfunded, under-resourced asset. It's really sad.
It is. The city should be using our high school, let's say horticulture. Mm-hmm. Get the kids out here planting these flowers. Get them hands-on education. Perfect example. Get them out there fluffing the flowers. Mm-hmm. Maybe they go out and start their own landscaping job. Get it more inclusive into the city in some regard.
To connect with the resources that we have.
Absolutely.
And as a mayor or as a city council member, you would be looking for those resources?
Absolutely, and encouraging it.
Yeah.
That's how you meld.
True.
That's how you meld the community,
Yeah.
with the younger and the old, perhaps. Well, I mean, you should.
Right.
But you
What
should
is-
hope for.
I would, yeah. What are some of your other interests here in Newport? You as a person, because you as a person are the person who's
Well,
to be
as a
elected.
person, one of the things I see, I don't do a lot of boat fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of shore fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see a lot more fishing accessibility. There's a lot of guys that I run up to are fishermen
Yeah.
or fisher persons.
That's politically correct. Fisher people.
Right. That come up that just want to pull over and try
Yeah.
a spot. And you've got weeds this tall, and you're going to do this, and you got to cast out 8, 9, 12
Mm-hmm.
feet to get past weeds in the water. You're not, it's discouraging. I don't want to fish, and I'm sick and tired. I'd like to see that cleaned up, the shore sides cleaned up, a little bit more fishing accessibility.
Uh-huh.
I like the recreational aspect. I like the trails. I like the inclusiveness at certain times where the side-by-sides can come on the road there, because it can bring that influx of well-needed money,
Right.
revenue.
Yeah.
I like to see more boutique-ish, if you would, mom-and-pop type stores come back.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have a thriving city
Right.
that would encourage that economic environment. You have to have more people coming in to
Right.
make that make sense.
Yes. It's sometimes really hard for people to support local businesses because clearly they have to charge more than the Amazons of the world and Walmart because they're such mega corporations. But it's so important that we do support our local businesses.
It is. It's because in the long run, if we're shut off from the outer world, it's us we have to rely on.
That's right.
And if we can't self-sustain in some regard, we're again going to be a dying city, and people go elsewhere.
Well, Vermont is one of the states that is growing in population, not decreasing. It was decreasing for a while, but now it's growing. Would you be encouraging people to move up here?
Oh, absolutely. Well, why not? It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's a great opportunity to own a piece of something that's not going to be around much longer. God's country.
Mm-hmm. So that brings us up to housing. That's a concern.
Now you got to house them all.
Right.
Now you have to find the balance of housing to bring in people up.
Yeah.
Do we want to sustain tourism? Do you want to have more influx of people, tax revenue? What are we going to sacrifice? Is it going to be that fauna and flora we got to cut into to make more housing? Around here, literally, where are you going to put
Where are you
houses?
going to put houses? Yeah.
They're all filled. Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
all filled.
But you would be encouraging the city, those in, say, the planning department or the planning commission or zoning administration, to be thinking of creative solutions.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And again, straight across the board, you got to have all classes, because we have them all. You just can't just pick out one and favor one.
Right.
We're going to we have all of them coming in, so we need to be befitting to all. But we certainly want to concentrate on revenue. So that's where we need to kind of be focused.
That's a tough one, because the way the city is funded currently is really via taxes, property taxes. But that's a big burden on those who own property. And how else can you diversify that? Because we don't have a system of local taxes from stores, for example. That all goes to the state.
The local tax. That's
I know,
a tough
it's a
one.
no-win. It's an
I mean,
absolute
how do you really
no-win.
answer that? No one has yet.
Well, in a lot of cities.
You've
so-
got to get into the city business to
Yes.
understand. I mean, sometimes I've had a lot of people question: are they deliberately chasing people away? And
Yeah.
what would be the reason?
Right.
You know the old
Yeah.
storage about the old adage, excuse me, about you got a core here and about a couple layers, and why is it so hard to get through layer number 2 to get to layer number 1 to get to that answer? And that's what it feels like we're dealing with the city here. What is it that they're protecting?
Right.
Why are they not really pushing Newport to be, selling Newport, if you would, not selling out?
Well, do you think they are selling out?
I believe we're more of an administrative city than anything else. Which, are we concentrating on this, or are we concentrating on this?
We've certainly done a good job in this city of the outer part looking lovely. We ignore things like the whole because we have no control over that. But we've done other things that do make it look attractive. But do you feel that we're building community in the same kind of way?
No, because when you say we're more beautificating the city, we are.
Yes.
But beauty doesn't pay unless you're in a beauty pageant.
Right.
And I don't believe we're in a beauty pageant. We're in a sustained city pageant. We need to sustain, and we need business. We need revenue to come in. Unless we go out and tell them what we have. Now, we got to build an infrastructure that they can see when they do their studies of what they're coming into.
Right.
That's part of, but it can't just be the only thing. Now we got to go get them and entice them in. We just can't build it for the people around here and then protect it, put that shell around it, because that stops the money from coming in, but drains all the money that's in here. And soon this will all go away.
Yeah. So we focus mostly on what you would do, who you would be as mayor, which is somebody who is approachable, etc.
Oh, absolutely.
If you were a city council person, what do you think would be different?
I would still be the same person.
Good answer.
Um,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of people don't understand the enormity of time and immensity of information
Right.
that needs to be digested in order to be an effective council person or
Right.
mayor.
It's a lot of work.
It sounds fun saying, hey, I'm running for mayor. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool? I can't believe it.
Right.
Well, you better believe it if you're running for mayor.
Right.
Because it's a serious job.
Yes.
And it takes you as that head to go out and bring that business to a city manager.
Right.
It's
Right.
You need time
Yeah.
and you need motivation and dedication. Without them too,
And
You
you're
just-
certainly not doing it for a paycheck because you
no,
pay is,
I'll donate that to some charity or
well, the pay that
someplace here.
anybody's getting as mayor
You
is
should be doing this for
a
civic
joke.
duty.
It's minimal,
Civic
which is
duty.
sad, but because it's a real job and it would be wonderful to be able to fund it, but that's not the reality. So obviously you're fully aware of that.
Absolutely. I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah. And apparently you care enough to keep being involved.
Yes. I'm very determined. I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
I sometimes jokingly say that sometimes that gets me, boy, in so many things, because I'm a stickler to my word.
Yeah. Well, in the last minute, is there anything that you think you haven't covered that you would want people to know about you?
I just would be a great representative of the city. I would diligently go out and seek connections to bring development, business. We never did get on child care, and I'm for child care too. We need that as well. But to bring those, to let people know we're here. They got to
Right.
come, and sometimes they need to bring their money and spend it here to help build as well too. But they
Yes.
need a foundation. We got to at least provide a decent foundation to build upon.
Okay, so I think that
And
covers
I
it.
think also at the same time, we have Woodman Page, we have Russ Engels and myself fighting for Newport. It's a formidable team. We're going after that state money, and we're going to bring it here.
Cool.
So that's
So on
what I
that
want to
note,
say.
thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Pam. I
and
appreciate it.
This video will go out and people will make their choices.
March 7th.
March 7th, indeed.
Thank you, Carl King.
Thank you.